Hello and welcome to a video review here on the Sanitarium.FM channel. I am the PredictedCyborg and today I'm reviewing a little indie game for you, a roguelike survival and crafting game called Rogue Harvest by Genetic Studio. It was released back in November the 5th of last year. It's currently in Steam Early Access, has been now for a few months. Studios say it's going to be in Early Access for a few months as they get the game out there, have people play it, and tailor the game with feedback. So, what is the game about? The game, technically, as I say, is a little survival crafting game. What you do is, you, as the main character, you wake up in the middle of nowhere in this little hut that you can probably see on screen right now, and you've got no memory, you've no idea what's happened, you've no idea why you're here, and basically you have to go out there, gather resources, and survive, really. So this little world you're in, procedurally generated, as I say. It is full of creatures and monsters and stuff. Mostly you see like rabbits and pigs and fireflowers and these little hopping mushroom things called mushkins, who are not very fast, but you need to be able to time your swings of the sword and stuff so you can take them down. Now, you do actually start this game off with 3 tools that do not break and do not wear down. You have an axe, you have a hammer, and you have a pick. Obviously, you use the axe to cut down trees, use the pick to mine the little stone ore that you see, or if you come across big chunks of marble or stone cliffs, you can mine those. And of course, you'll also find other ores such as silver and gold, which you can mine to break down and grab the pieces. Now, during the first day, you want to go around and gather a whole bunch of resources and then retreat back to your little cabin for the night. Because once night falls, and you will get a warning about it because there's a little clock at the top right-hand corner of the screen. Once night falls, you will have your shelter attacked by a whole bunch of other monsters, including goblins and boneheads, or in other words, goblins and skeletons. And now you might think that once you're in your home, you're safe. Nope. The thing is, monsters can actually go through your walls. They will most often go for the corners and break them down. And once they get in, they will attack you. Things I would recommend to do during the first day, after you've gathered a whole bunch of resources: go back to your house, build a second layer of wall around your house, just to make it that much harder to get in. Make sure that you have actually crafted a sword, because they do more damage than your typical axe or pick or hammer, although you can use one of those 3 if you really need a weapon. You can also craft bows and arrows and stuff. And, of course, I must say, you have to really be careful of the day-night cycle, because despite everything, you will get a little warning, as I say, that night is approaching. But night does fall very suddenly. So if you're caught outside, you might be taken by surprise, especially if you're like me and you manage to get lost in a big world like this. Now, you can actually outrun the monsters if you just keep going, but that doesn't always work, as the footage is sort of showing you. There are times when you do actually get caught, so you have to be really careful where you're going, and especially during the darkest part of the night, you need to be able to shine your torch so you can see what's ahead of you, although you won't actually be able to see what's coming from the side of you, and you've got to be able to change direction on a dime. Now, other things to note about this game: things can actually burn down. Burning trees are a thing in this, and the most often done by the fireflowers, or if you craft your fire-spitting wand weapon. That actually is something that becomes useful, because one of the craftable items is an oven which needs charcoal. So what you basically need to do is you need to burn down 4 trees. And once you've done that, then you can grab the charcoal. Of course, if you're using a fireflower to do this, you've got to be able to run very fast and not get caught by the fireflower as you're grabbing the charcoal. And sometimes the areaing on picking up items is a little bit weird. So, as far as bugs in this game, I can't really talk about any. There were no big game-breaking bugs, which is a credit to Genetic Studio. Although I must admit that as I was loading in my first few maps, I did actually manage to get 3 achievements in the game, which I did not deserve. One of which now I think I have actually reached the threshold for, but the other 2, definitely not. Other than that, I haven't actually encountered any bugs to speak about. So, how is this as a game? Rogue Harvest is actually, well, it works pretty damn well. The controls are nice and smooth. The graphics, while not being complicated, are actually a boon because you don't really need very complicated graphics for this sort of game. Crafting-wise, there's not an awful lot of things to craft in this game yet, and they do talk about some end-game story content that this game is meant to have, which at the moment you only ever see a starting flashback before you start the game, and then every now and then you'll randomly come across like bits and pieces of things that trigger flashbacks of memories, but other than that, I don't think the full game is actually implemented yet. About a week ago, the studio did actually tweet that they were adding in endgame content, and they have also said that they're going to be, as they develop, be adding in more things, more loot, more items to craft, as well as the story which they have described as sad but inspiring. If you like this sort of game, then you are going to enjoy playing this. Just, at the moment, it's still not quite complete, so don't expect there to be an awful lot of content to do as of yet. Not that you will actually be able to get to all that content straight away, because I must admit, this game is actually quite hard. It took me quite a few attempts to be able to get all of this footage, and an awful lot of it has actually come from a live stream which I did of this game, which everybody saw me learning how to play this game more effectively. Of course, as I say, the studio did tweet a week ago that they were working on endgame content, which means that a full release of this game could actually be coming sooner rather than later. The Steam page does actually say that they wanted to have this game in early access for a few months, and since it came out in November, I would estimate maybe February as a release date. Don't quote me on that, I have no insider knowledge at all, just a few months kind of seems to suggest that February or March maybe could be the time when this game comes out. So if you are actually interested in playing this game, as I say, it is currently in Steam Early Access. You can get it in its partially completed but very, very playable form for, well, the price in the UK is £4.79, and the US price is set, from what I could tell, at $5.99. So, as a game, would I say that it is worth it? Yeah, I'd say so. This game is less than £5, and for that you do get a very nice little game, which doesn't have a big install size, by the way, that you can actually play for quite a few times, and it does have a lot of replayability because obviously it is a roguelike and permadeath is a thing. And of course, it is quite a difficult little game unless you are very, very, very good and actually read the instructions a bit more thoroughly than I probably did. This game is definitely going to a few hours of your time, so if you're into this genre of game, go ahead and give it a go. And when Genetic Studio do actually have a full release of the game, there's going to be an awful lot more things that you can craft. And I must actually say that in the future, one of the things I'm hoping to see implemented in this game would actually be some armor slots, because while you can craft helmets and hoods and stuff for your head, you actually have to equip them and have them in your inventory while you're doing it. So I'm assuming that sometime in the future they are going to add a more typical armor slot system to the game, so you can equip helmets and stuff in an armor slot and they won't take up a space in your inventory, which obviously, this being a survival game, you can only carry so much. And so, that does it for this review. Thank you for tuning in for this video. I am the PredictedCyborg, doing a video review of Rogue Harvest by Genetic Studio for the Sanitarium.FM. Remember, do stay tuned to this channel for more video reviews, and I will see you next time. Goodbye!